interesting development. It had a very, very interesting development. So IGN and a number of other developers
Hope you guys are having a good day. A couple things I want to talk about today. Haven't done one of these in quite a while now. A lot of things came out today. Past couple of weeks. Mainly today. Apparently, Chainsaw Man ended in the manga, and apparently the ending is not that good. So I actually want to watch that right now. I also want to look at the whole situation with Crunchyroll going on right now, and also want to take a look at what's going on in the gaming sphere. But first, let's take a look at what is happening with this Chainsaw Man ending, because I heard it is pretty bad. Let's take a look.
My house, took a fat shit in the middle of my room, and is like, take a whiff, take a taste, because that is all you're gonna get with this finale of Chainsaw Man's manga. And my god, he really did leave a pile of dog shit for us all to taste today, because this is absolutely one of the worst conclusions I've read in the last few years. I would honestly say, with my absolute disappointment with this conclusion.
So for what I heard, they basically did like a reset. Obviously, you see Power there. If you remember, Power died back in part 1. So they basically did a reset. And yeah, it's damn, man. And Chainsaw Man's like, I really enjoyed reading Chainsaw Man. This is actually, because I'm actually in the middle of part 2 right now. I'm just trying to catch up, but I don't know, man. Like, this kind of like ruined it for me. I'm just gonna be honest.
I put it above my disappointment of the Oshinoko ending. This is really bad, and I'm going to dissect and get into why I think it's bad in just a moment. But my god, I am just so disappointed. The fact that there is literally no Part 3 announcement here, and we have this actual offer comment from Fujimoto talking about how this is the conclusion he wanted to give to Chainsaw Man, just really cements that this really is the end. Like, this is the final chapter of Chainsaw Man. And so let's actually read this. So this is a comment from Fujimoto himself, by the way, the author of Chainsaw Man, and what he envisioned for the ending of Chainsaw Man. This was something he said a while back. He said, there are themes I want to convey, but I also create my manga in such a way that I don't convey everything. Unrelated events and gag scenes I hope will divert the awareness of the readers. It made me think, what even was that? Nothing was resolved. Wasn't everything pretty meaningless? I want Chainsaw Man to give the reader that kind of aftertaste too. And my god, Fujimoto accomplished that goal. Because
he did. He did from the sounds of it.
Part 2 was straight up worthless, because nothing matters. The final chapter is a complete reset to the world, and Denji pretty much wakes up at the beginning of the chapter. I will show it right here. He wakes up and he starts off literally saying with his first dialogue, feels like I had a good and bad dream. Wish I only had good dreams, like eating with a girl and playing video games. I want a pet dog too. Basically, the opening of the final chapter is Denji looking at the entirety of Part 1 and Part 2 of Chainsaw Man, 231 chapters of the series, as nothing but a dream that did not happen. We know it happened, but basically to this Denji, it did not happen. It's just a dream. And so all the struggles, death, loss, and problems in trying to overcome certain things, basically thrown into the dumpster. For instance, Osa's character, thrown into the dumpster. Yoru, thrown into the dumpster. Death Devil, thrown into the dumpster. Sammy, thrown into the dumpster. And everything else in between. All the different interactions.
It's crazy how basically everything that happened prior basically was just worthless. Like, none of it even happened. Damn. Fuck. That's actually... Fuck. Damn. Shit.
Little things that build up throughout Chainsaw Man Part 1 and Part 2 thrown into the dumpster because of this reset. Now, I want to be completely blunt here. I do not hate this chapter because it is a reset. I feel like that is something a lot of people are misunderstanding when it comes to the critique that many people are potentially having with this chapter. The reset inherently is not a bad thing. It's very interesting. But the problem here is that this ending is so abrupt, it is just so quick, that there is not enough time to breathe and not enough time to really expand upon what this really means for the world of Chainsaw Man. Because in general, this feels, at this point in time, with this final chapter, undeserved, unrewarding. For instance, the characters do not deserve this ending. They did not earn it. And you've had all these characters struggle and fight and all that, and technically they lost. Like part 2, pretty much before this chapter, in the last chapter, they lost. It was over. Chainsaw Man defeated. Done. And obviously the only option that Puchita had was to eat his own self, to basically completely rewrite history itself, that he never existed, which kind of created a paradox where we're at right now with the world reset. I will talk about all this in a moment. The point I'm getting at is that the characters getting to this point with the reset feels completely unearned, and it feels like they didn't actually strive to fight for this. This feels like the mysterious hands of God himself that came in and forced this ending to happen, aka Fujimoto, which gets into what I showcased with his offer comment, basically talking about how he wanted everything to feel meaningless and get
it kind of reminds you of the ending. What's the name of that series? Tattoo Taboo. It kind of reminds me of that ending, because I remember, like, the main character, I think the main character dies. I can't remember if he dies or something, but I do remember, like, his childhood friend / crush, she died. And then the villain basically wins, but she resets the world. And the main character and his childhood friend got reincarnated as kids, and they're just going to school. It kind of reminds you of that in a way, from what they're discussing, just like a total reset of the world.
That as a taste for the conclusion of Chainsaw Man. And so, pretty much everything was meaningless. He came in, he basically threw everything in the dumpster, he kind of subverted everybody's expectations, and was like, yeah, it didn't matter at all, here you go, here's your happy ending. Now, I can see some of the symbolic themes here of what Fujimoto is trying to do here with this conclusion, and it's obviously in relation to Denji's overall mindset that he's had since the very beginning of the story. And I feel like I do need to talk about this good aspect before I get into a lot of the bad that this chapter offers, because there's barely any good I can really say about this chapter. First off, Denji is a character that always sought out the next thing. For instance, when he obtained his objective, his goal for happiness, he went after the next thing. He was never satisfied. He had this endless hunger for satisfaction and happiness and striving for a goal. And we saw this throughout part 1, and then even into part 2, where it drove to the point of the events of part 2. And the thing is that despite Denji reaching points in his life where he was completely happy, where he had everything, he even himself throughout the story admitted he wasn't happy. And this is something that kind of dives into not just Denji as a character, but the whole human concept of when you finally obtain something, you're not always satisfied, because it's better to go after the chase than reaching the top of the mountain and have a, end to your journey, so to speak. It's usually the journey that is the most important and the most fulfilling. And so
basically all that interactions with Reze, him going to school, like that, none of that basically never happened. That's basically what they're trying to say. Like, damn, yeah, this is kind of a bad ending. Damn, I was not expecting this series to end the way it did.
When we get this conclusion here, and Denji's obviously in a world of happiness, he has everything technically he ever wanted, powers back in his life, he's living a normal life as a devil hunter technically, people around him that, he used to have connections with are still alive, like for instance Asa and all that, and Power's alive. We can only assume Rize and Aki and all of them are alive too. I'll talk about that in a second. The point is that this conclusion is more or less a happy ending. It is a happy ending that everybody is pretty much alive. That's basically what this is, okay? And you don't have the involvement of Makima mucking it up and Chainsaw Man being around also causing problems as well, which, by the way, the fact that the world is all happy and go lucky basically indirectly says that Puchita was such a bad entity in the world itself that he ruined Denji's life and he ruined the world. Like, Puchita was that big of an issue that the entire world is just better off without his existence, which is kind of fucked up. I'm just gonna say it. That's messed up. But the point here is that this conclusion is obviously trying to say that we're not satisfied with the happy ending. We're not satisfied that it is completely everything's a-okay. The world is corrected, Power is back, Aki's probably alive, and, Rize's technically still alive and all that. Nayuta's alive, Asa's alive. Even though this is extreme happiness, you should be satisfied to see.
But so does that basically mean like there's still Power technically has her horns right there, so there's still devils and stuff. So basically, the world is still fucked. That means like the Gun Devil's still around and shit. Like, but they said Maki. But yeah, this is kind of a confusing ending then.
see Denji.
Does that still mean Denji still owes money to the mafia and shit to pay his dad's debts?
Have a good conclusion and all that. It's not satisfying because once again, it doesn't feel earned. It's so abrupt. And like I said, this might be a parallel that might be intentional or unintentional that Fujimoto tried to do here. But regardless, that is the one good aspect I see with this ending from a symbolic point of view. But besides that, everything else is pretty much ass cheeks. Like, it's not good. And it's kind of funny. The final panel we get of Chainsaw Man is literally a booty shot of Power. Like, the final panel is literally this. I'm like, okay, I see you. I see you, Fujimoto. I see you. So, okay, let's break this apart on why this chapter and ending is bad. So, basically, we got to start from the very beginning of this chapter. First off, the concept of this is good if it was expanded upon. If there was more chapters here, or actually going to be a part 3, this would be a fine chapter. There would be nothing necessarily wrong with this chapter, because there would be more expansion on it. But the offer comment that Fujimoto said more or less implies that this is truly the ending. So I'm looking at this as actually the end of Chainsaw Man. That's how I am reviewing this. This is how I'm talking about this chapter. I'm not talking about it as if there is going to be a continuation or not. I'm just strictly talking, this is the end. Like, the end of Chainsaw Man. And so, everything for 231 chapters, pointless. That's what this chapter starts off with. And to kind of rub salt into the wound, Denji starting off the first dialogue of the chapter, pretty much saying everything was a dream, pretty much implies that, yeah, it doesn't matter, because he doesn't remember it, obviously, because, you know, Puchita is gone, but everything was a dream, nothing exists anymore, and that's about it. And so he will go on not knowing any of the struggles and happiness and even sad times that he experienced in Part 1 and Part 2 that made him the person that he was at the end of the story. And so basically, when you see this entire situation, he has an eye missing, he's someone that basically, I believe he has a lack of a kidney as well. He also has, I think, a ball gone as well. Like, one of his testes are gone, too.
I forgot about that. I forgot about that from Chainsaw Man.
I believe he sold a lot of his different organs just to be able to survive. So this man is like one ball wonder, one eye wonder, and literally just one kidney wonder. Like, this man is missing multiple organs at the beginning of the story, and because, obviously, he doesn't have Puchita, he doesn't get that stuff back. But he does have an encounter with Power. Power reappears within the story and connects with Denji. And this entire situation more or less is saying that Power got brought back to life because of Puchita's death. Or Puchita basically now being non-existent. But what makes this entire situation so weird and awkward, but it isn't just Power that got brought back, but Miaoi got brought back, and even Nayuta got brought back as well, which this one is the big question mark here that I don't truly understand. And let me explain. So, Nayuta being back makes no sense when we look at the concept of how she died, but also Power being back and how she died, and also Miaoi as well, and the dogs too, that are associated with Makima and Nayuta. So the entire situation here is extremely strange. It's like, why isn't Makima back, technically, if the world was reset? Why is Power back like she is, but Nayuta's there? Why is Miaoi back? Why is the dogs back? It just, there's a lot of things that don't add up, because technically, in this circumstance, if we're starting back from the very beginning, Makima should exist. That's what should happen. But the fact that...
Yeah, I'm gonna end it right there. But, yeah, it's kind of a messy ending from the sounds of it. I don't know why Fujimoto would end it this way. Usually, in my opinion, I feel like usually when authors end a story like this, I feel like they're just tired of the story. They're just tired of it, and they want to move on to something else, or they just want to they just want to end it. And I don't know why he would end it like this, especially with the momentum he had with this series, especially with the Reze Arc movie. Like, I know he has to know how good that movie is. Like, I'm pretty sure from what I heard, the movie did pretty good in Japan. So. And obviously we know how it did worldwide, especially here in the West. So again, I'm really confused why he would end a story like this. I don't know. I'm really not sure of how to feel about this. Yeah. Is it worse than yeah, I'll say it's worse. It's probably worse than a bunch of series I've seen before. Like I've been hearing people say this is worse than the JJK ending. Obviously he mentioned Oshinoko. Um, I still don't think it's as bad as Domestic Girlfriend. I still hate that ending. Me personally, I still hate the ending of Domestic Girlfriend. I still don't think it's worse than that. But yeah, man, this is a really bad ending. Um, my guess is that the author was just tired of working on Chainsaw Man and he just wanted to end it, or maybe he was just tired of serialization and working on manga every week. Actually, no, this was in Jump Plus, didn't? So I think this released every 2 weeks, if I'm not mistaken. But I don't know. Maybe he wanted to you know, be done with serialization and just take a break from creating manga, or maybe he's trying to work on something else, something new. But either way, kind of disappointing how Fujimoto ended the series the way he did. But yeah, man, when this finally gets adapted, I know a lot of people are gonna be upset. So that means, yeah, 232 chapters of Chainsaw Man. So let's see. They just announced season two. 3, 4. I can see Chainsaw Man ending in they're probably gonna give this series maybe 3 more seasons after this next season coming up. It's probably gonna get 3 more seasons, in my opinion. I don't think it'll need anything more after that. That's just my personal opinion. Hopefully the anime goes in depth, especially with this part in the ending. But yeah, it kind of makes no sense. Really disappointing ending. Um, yeah. Next video I want to move on to is the ongoing situation with Gachiakuta, the K-Unet situation. I really want to take a look at this. Monte Sensei made a great video about this, by the way. Let's take a look at this.
Kei Urana, the manga artist for Gachikuta, is frustrated with how toxic people have become towards her work. During a live stream, Kei Urana got frustrated as she had to shut down many questions of fan canon shippings and asked if she was non-binary, racist, and more. Long story short, she says, from my perspective, this is a common sense rule.
Come on. Hold on, let me...
But if nobody says it, things will turn it. For Gachikuta is frustrated with how toxic people have become towards her work. During a live stream, Kei Urana got frustrated as she had to shut down many questions of fan canon shippings and asked if she was non-binary, racist, and more. Long story short, she says, from my perspective, this is a common sense rule, but if nobody says it, things will turn into chaos, so I'll say it. What frustrates me is not the unofficial settings themselves, it's the people who throw childish tantrums about them. And believe me, we all know who those people are. It's the godforsaken shippers.
Something Kei Udana must learn ASAP is that
Yeah, I agree. Like this, it's absolutely insane how people, especially here in the West, are acting towards this. Like again, the Japanese, they are so respectful when it comes to how they interact with their audience and their fans. And the fact that she literally had to go out of her way just to use a voice, not a voice, a translator, just to translate her words, and so how frustrated she is. It just shows how the West is really, it's not even majority of the West. It's just a small niche group, a bunch of fucking weirdos, mainly I'll argue say these My Hero Academia people who are just trying to really push their headcanon on not only the series but the author herself. Like literally they literally made a post saying that she's pansexual. Like again, it's just literally this is like headcanon to like a completely insane degree.
there's a huge section of her fan base that are actually non-fans, which is an understatement. They're full on deranged, psychotic, ruled by chaotic emotion, needing to be in an asylum. And I mean that seriously, that's not hyperbole. They're adult children who the second they don't get what they want, they react in a very spoiled, entitled brat manner, throwing a fit.
I just want a bicycle! Why are you yelling at me?
They have an unhealthy attachment to the characters of Gachiakuta, and
Yeah, and that's the problem. Like their attachment to these characters, it's to a point where it's not even healthy. It's like they literally think these characters are real, and they're trying to like label them just so they can just so it could justify their lifestyle, their own lifestyle. And it's absolutely insane. Like they've been doing this for My Hero for years.
social relationship with Udana herself. They don't see her as a human being, but more like a doll or toy that must behave in a certain way if a specific button is pressed. And if she doesn't, they react like Sid from Toy Story. These are people who've had a bad upbringing. They're socially underdeveloped. The way they communicate is like someone stuck on ecstasy and Adderall at once. Their mind is constantly living in the space of the extreme, which is why they always speak in the extreme, calling her some of the nastiest things, which I can't yet mention because it's still too early in the video and YouTube doesn't like that. Now, this is probably something she isn't used to, being from Japan, but in the West, this type of chaotic childish behavior is becoming more normalized, tolerated, and in fact celebrated in a lot of cases. Something she's been forced to realize, having to address this toxic radioactive part of her fan base strictly in English translations. That is no coincidence. Now, to her, she most likely thought interacting with her Western fan base is a marker of a creator acting in good faith, something that will be appreciated, showing her human side, and if she makes certain mistakes along the way, that people will be very understanding, because a mangaka who's willing to go out of her way to communicate with her fans is a very rare thing. Let's reward her by treating her with decency and respect. But to these types, things like manners, decorum, decency, and respect are all foreign concepts. And it's people like them that just ruin it for everyone else, which is consistent throughout all fandoms.
Yep,
what she has to
true.
realize is that this goes beyond just bad communication skills. These people truly suffer from mental illness. Not only do they have an unhealthy attachment, parasocial relationship with her, but with the characters as well. When we had the fiction versus reality debate online, where we implored these weirdos to stop treating fictional characters as real people, to them, it's the inverse. Reality doesn't exist, and the fictional world is the real world. So to them, these characters are real people. They don't see entertainment as something to be entertained by, to enjoy, nor these stories to be inspired by. They only see it as a source to draw validation and limitless affirmations from. And when
Exactly. Yep. Like I said, trying to validate their own lifestyle and their own way of thinking. That's literally why they do this shit. And if the creator or if a fan denies that, saying that it's not true based on like facts that the creator or the story has said, they will literally throw tantrums. They will literally call you everything in the book. They literally call you everything in the book. And it's absolutely insane. Like, these are literally crazy individuals. Like, absolutely insane people. And they need to be in Arkham Asylum. Like, it's absolutely insane.
these characters don't meet their expectations because you, the creator, denies their made-up fantasies and headcanon, they flip the...
And mind you, it's the fucking creator. It's the creator that's literally saying that this is not true. That's what's crazy to me. Like, this is the creator, the author, the fucking artist, and the writer that's saying this. And they're getting upset over it. And it's absolutely insane. Like, you are fucking crazy. Like, that's literally what it is. You are fucking crazy. And I feel sorry for that the author that she has to go through this. Like, just the idea, just the fact that they made a dedicated page saying that she's pansexual. And it's just like, dude, like, first of all, like, the Japanese don't even know what that even means. Like, all this gender ideology bullshit, the Japanese don't even know what that is. Like, she even made a post about it saying where did you, like why do you think I'm this way? Like, it's just insane to me. And when she responds, like, they're like, shut up. Like what? Like, you people are insane.
Fuck out. And to them, if given the chance, I truly believe these people will probably cause harm and become violent towards any creator who dare denies their headcanon. Because remember, they see these characters as real people, so you denying what they believe to be true, they see it as you denying.
And this is the problem with the West. The problem with the West is that, especially now, every time they make a series, they have to have these type of characters in these series just so they can appease these type of people. And that's the problem, because you're catering to people that literally are not fans of these properties. They latch on to anything that's popular and they try to label certain things, mainly the characters, trying to label them a certain way. And it's absolutely insane. Like, mind you, these people are not fans. These people don't even have capital to spend money on the merchandise. And yet, these people still try to, like, appease them, especially here in the West, in Hollywood. And it's just like, what are you guys doing? And it's absolutely dumb. Like, I'm just gonna be honest. It's literally one group. It's mainly one group, especially in the anime space, that's literally doing this shit. It's literally one group.
And their existence.
Long story short, she's fed up with the shippers, and I don't blame her. And when she denies the claims that people have made headcanons on, she instantly gets slandered because of it. 9 times out of 10, 2 things ruin a fan base. 1, those that just slander to slander because they have an agenda and don't care about the story whatsoever, and those who are shippers who ship characters that were never meant to be together nor had any implication of being together. They then push that agenda, and when it's outright denied, they just go and say the most random, heinous shit imaginable against the person who denied it. Which in this case is Kei Urana being the victim here.
The way they view entertainment is strictly through an ideological lens. Their brains have been so politicized to the point, for most, they become a lost cause. You technically can't communicate.
And this is my problem too. And the West is the reason why this is like this too. Because, like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure everyone has been noticing now, every speck of media entertainment now, there has to be some sort of political messaging. And that's where you start to divide the audience. When people come into these properties, people just want to be entertained. They don't give a shit about any political messaging whatsoever. Like, again, this is a reason why games like Dragon Age the Veilguard have failed. This is a fucking medieval game, and you're pushing gender ideology in a fucking medieval game. In a game in medieval times. Before Christ. And you're trying to push gender. What the fuck are we doing? What are we doing? And then come to find out, the writer of the game was going through a fucking transition. Made the game about themselves. And mind you, Dragon Age is a household property. The last game for that property won Game of the Year. And this game destroyed the entire franchise, and and arguably destroyed BioWare.
With them, which is why during the live stream they constantly spam the same questions, which is why we call them NPCs. They're like robots, only programmed to repeat the same things over and over again. Spamming has now become their way of communicating. These iOS identity-obsessed fans feel more entitled to your work than you yourself, which is why when you ask politely not to do certain things with your official work, they just laugh, shocked that you would dare think what you create actually belongs to you and not them. They also see your characters as tools, pawns, and political.
Yeah, see, this is what I'm talking about. They always do. I mean, even though, like, again, not the biggest fan of Spider-Gwen or Ghost Spider, whatever the fuck she's called. At the end of the day, Peter Parker, Spider-Man. But yeah, this is what they do. And and for those of you who saw the last Spider-Verse movie, they had the flag in there too. And they try to make the color medium match this too. So, it just goes to show you how fucked Hollywood is, man. Mind you, this is a kids movie. The Spider-Verse is basically a kids movie.
Statements, like many other anime characters, only using them for ideological purposes. They're not fans. They're just parasites willing to bite off the populace.
Yeah, and
they're just parasites only using.
This is the other thing I was talking about. This character right here, they've been trying to push the idea that this guy is trans, and mind you, I don't know where the fuck they even got this idea from. Like, it is such a crazy Hail Mary of a thing to say that literally true fans of this property, even casuals that are watching this, were just like, where the fuck are you guys getting this shit from? Like, it was such out of field that people were just like, how? Like, it made zero sense. And the author literally said that literally never even stated the case. Like, this is a guy. This is a fucking guy. Absolutely insane, man.
them for ideological purposes. They're not fans. They're just parasites willing to bite off the popularity of whatever property is trendy at the moment. If you don't draw your characters a certain way or in a certain shade, they'll wish violence onto you or wanting to commit the violence themselves. For them, mental illness has become a default state, not something that just happens here and there on occasion.
And I really don't care. We need to call shippers losers more often. We really do.
Yeah,
This
we
shit's
do.
uncalled for. And I do not blame her for the way that she's acted towards this Western fan base, knowing how they are. I'm telling you, man, these shippers have been a problem for quite some time. And it's about time somebody said something.
This is a problem creators will face in today's world, where this mental illness is promoted and rewarded rather.
These type of fans and Western localizers are the main reason why the Japanese is really trying to use AI to basically use them for the translation and stuff. Because low key, these localizers are arguably part of the problem too. Why these people think this way too. And I'm gonna play a video discussing the situation with English localizers. But they are arguably part of the problem too.
And condemned or made to face consequences. The more you grow your audience of readers and viewers, the more you attract not just normies, but the deranged person. I think nowadays the smart thing for creators to do is to weed out these people early on before they embed themselves into your garden of a fan base, making it hard for true, actual fans to navigate and maneuver through. There's a scene from a recent episode of Hell's Paradise that really stuck with me, where we get a flashback scene of Tamiya's or Tetsunosuke's character.
Oh, yeah, this episode was funny. Hell's Paradise has been so good this season, man. Really good. Huge sleeper, in my opinion, this season. Huge sleeper.
いいし、いい胸、絵に描いたようないい女。
何？色仕掛け？
違う、タオについてだ。
何があっても心静かに。
This shit was so funny. He was literally in front of that shit, literally staring at that. This shit was so funny.
Receiving wisdom from his elder, being told that his problem is trying to be everything and do everything, but in doing so, he loses focus, suggesting that instead of going wider, go deeper, increasing your focus as a result.
その中に全部あるから、広げんな、深めろ。相変わらず意味わからんじじいだぜ。
I think this advice can be applied all across the board in countless fields, especially for creators. That instead of trying to grow your base as much as you can, or what many Japanese creators and studios are doing, appealing to the global audience, only focus on your niche base, the die-hard, hardcore, true fans that will actually remain by your side.
Yep, and that's why it's really important to, especially as a up-and-coming creator, it's really important to know your audience too, because again, this is what I've been saying with Hollywood, they're trying to cater to everyone, and I feel like that's the problem, especially when it comes to established properties like based off comic books or based off books. They try to adapt these properties so it can cater to everyone, and that's the problem. Every successful property has never catered to everyone. It caters to the fans, and it's up to people who are interested in these properties to adapt into these fandoms and to the series. That's how all these series become popular. No one makes something for everyone just so it could be for it to be successful. You can't make something for everyone. You have to make something that you believe that, first of all, you have to create something that you like. And if there's an audience for it, then they will decide if it's good or not based on the audience. And if it becomes popular, and if people say that, hey, you got to change it towards this way, just so I can, feel accepted, then you shouldn't, because but the moment they say that, that just shows that they are not a fan of your property. They're not a fan. The moment that someone tells you got to change something about your property, mind you, if it's already established, you got to change something about a certain aspect or a character just so someone could even be interested in it, they're not a fan. And you should not even waste your time listening to that person. Especially if it's a peer. If it's like a peer, no. Never listen to your peers. Always listen to the customers, like the majority. Not just one customer, the majority. Don't listen to a small, minute group. Listen to the majority of your customers, the ones that give you capital in order for you to keep continuing what you're doing. Not the ones with the fucking blue, red hair, bleached hair, with the fucking flags, the fingernails, that are always complaining about something.
Decades to come. With them comes longevity and sustainability, while with normies and casual fans comes uncertainty and instability. They leave just as fast as they come, looking for the next trend, and a deranged, mentally ill non-fan only looks for validation and affirmation for themselves. Choose wisely by going deeper instead of wider. But that's all I have for this video. Tell me what you think in the comment section below.
That actually goes pretty hard. Go deeper instead of thinking wider. That's actually a pretty strong quote right there. But yeah, really good video from Mate Sensei. It's gonna continue. It's on, especially with new seasons coming out of Gacha, especially with more characters they introduce. Because I heard this series has a pretty decent roster of characters, so it's just gonna keep continuing on. Honestly, I think the authors just have to ignore it, especially here in the West. You just got to ignore those groups of people, honestly, because like I said, I truly believe it's just that group of My Hero fans just migrating to the to this fandom and just basically doing this bullshit. I feel like when they were doing it with My Hero, Horikoshi didn't really respond to these weirdos. I remember when he did that art for the bunny girl. I don't even know her name. I heard a lot, like, all these weirdos getting upset because he didn't draw her dark enough, and it's just like, dude, like, this is a Japanese woman. Like, she's depicted as a Japanese person. Like, again, just because someone is dark skinned doesn't make them black in Japan. There are dark skinned Japanese people. It's the same argument with Yoruichi. But yeah, before I move on to the localization and the Crunchyroll stuff, I do want to take a look at this. Something happened over the weekend. I actually read this article. I just want to take a look at this. It has to do with Alan Richardson. He's the actor who plays Jack Reacher in the Amazon Reacher show. Apparently got into a fight over the weekend. I want to take a look at this real quick.
There are numerous people in my neighborhood who caught all of this on Ring doorbells of him speeding through the neighborhood. And on Sunday, when I was cleaning my bike outside my house, he rode past once.
So it looks like this is the guy that got beat up. Because it looks like this was the guy he was fighting. Like, yeah, you can see like a scar on his head. Like, damn. I mean, if you see the actor for Reacher, Alan Richardson, like, he's a big guy. He's a big guy, and he's built. Like, that is someone you do not want to fight.
Twice, and on the second time, I walked out in front of him, and I said, "You've got to stop. Someone's going to get hurt." And it escalated quite quickly from there. I did push him because he was coming towards me on his bike. He did it again for a second time. I pushed him a second time, and I think the second time he got off his bike and it kicked the crap out of me.
Alan Richardson is he doesn't like Trump, so therefore you have a bunch of like headlines from people: Trump hating fake Christian Alan Richardson, beats the shit out of somebody for no reason. Like, you can have people that you disagree with politically. It doesn't mean that everything that happens is like their fault or that they're evil or whatever. And when we looked at that yesterday, I said, look, I don't know what led to this. Probably shouldn't hit people, but who knows what we said. Kind of strange, not really enough to go off of. Well, the guy ran to TMZ to give an interview. And in the interview, he said, well, him and his kids, they had been going on their dirt bikes too fast through the neighborhood, and I had to put a stop to it. And, I'll be honest, I did push him over a couple times before he beat the shit out of me, but really that's unacceptable. So it's like, okay, so you started it, but we got a full body cam thing. Alan Richardson was wearing like a camera while they were dirt biking. And look, I get it. I can get as annoyed as anybody about people.
I didn't even know he had a body. Whoa. Okay, this is interesting. I didn't even know he had on a body cam. I actually want to take a look at this.
on like loud bikes or whatever going through your neighborhood. Get that fucking clip.
Bro, he could have got himself like killed.
Yeah, this is how it's
rammed him with the motorcycle and ran him over. Like his head could have cracked back on the concrete and just that's the end. Like what are you thinking, dude?
So Alan Ritson is driving his bike with his kids through the neighborhood, and this guy steps right in the way to the point where
I didn't even know he was riding with his kids either.
Alan Ritson has to slam on the brakes, and
I believe this is in Tennessee, from what I heard.
You can see in the video
he crashes
over, like he's gonna go over the fucking handlebars.
So he's driving. I didn't even know he had a body cam. And then they said the guy steps in the way.
Just a nice stroll until this guy fucking decides to block his way.
Holy crap!
You could tell this is a suburb too. You could tell this is a suburb too. Like, hold on, let me go back a little bit. You could tell this is like a suburb. This is definitely a suburb. Like, look at these houses, bro. This is definitely a suburb.
Just a nice stroll until this guy fucking decides to block his way.
Holy crap, dude! What an idiot! Oh my god! He could have broke his arm. And
that's Alan Ritson. He's going like 25 miles an hour or something. It's not really that fast. I don't know what the neighborhood is. I get it. It can be fucking annoying. Bikes are going by, but here you go.
Like a lot of that ass whooping might be justified. I'm just gonna be honest. I feel like that ass whooping might be justified. I didn't even know he fell over like that. Damn. And he did that intentionally. Like if he were to hit him with the bike, it would have been his fault, not Alan Richardson's fault. This idiot's fault. It would have been his fault. He would have been at fault. Because again, why the fuck would you step in front of the fucking vehicle? That's like a car driving and you step in front of the car. You're gonna be at fault, not the driver. Yeah, he's an idiot for that. He's an idiot for that. I'm not gonna lie. Ass whooping might have been deserved. I'm just gonna be honest.
Oh my god, he could have like broke his arm and
that's Alan Ritson. He's going like 25 miles.
From the video I saw, Alan Ritson was pretty protected, so he had padding on, so he should be good. But if he didn't, like, he would have been scraped up a bit. But yeah, that was stupid what that guy did.
Miles an hour or something. It's not really that fast. I don't know what the neighborhood is. I get it. It can be fucking annoying. Bikes are going by, but here you go.
Are you fucking kidding me, bro? Look.
It's tough to hear, but Alan Richardson's like, are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? The guy's like, you're speedy, you're going too fast, you have to stop this, I'm gonna call the cops, like, blah, blah, blah.
Stand in front of a fucking bike again, dude. We're doing what? You threatened my fucking safety, bro. Are you kidding me? You're trying to be a fuck out of him. Go ahead, go down. You're trying to pull me, I'm cold already, you should be driving.
Now, Alan Richardson asked him a couple times, like, have you been drinking? Like, what's your fucking problem, bro? He goes back to get on the bike again, right? Gets his bike back up and is trying to leave, right? And this guy continues to stand in the way, and eventually pushes him when he tries to go. So that's when the guy then actually shoves Alan Richardson.
Holy crap, dude.
Oh, okay.
That's what happened there.
Okay, all right. So yeah, so that ass whooping is justified. Ass whooping is justified. That ass whooping is justified. Because this is the clip I saw. Right here, what they're playing.
This is where the people.
This is what I saw. This is what they showed. That stuff before I did not see. That ass whooping is justified. That ass whooping is justified. He deserved that. He absolutely deserved that.
Over the side started filming, and we saw this.
Fuck out of your goddamn mind. Stay down.
Yeah, remember, bro. This guy, he's a big guy. He's a big guy, bro.
So the kids are just watching like dad do his thing.
Fucking based kids. Based kids right there. Fucking based. Just standing on the bike waiting for their dad. Fucking based kids, bro. That's what you call some well-behaved kids right there.
Like, I'm gonna be real. Like, should he have hit him a second time he was on the ground? Alan Richardson could have fucking murdered this dude.
Yeah,
easily if he wanted to. I think we get so caught up in, well, we don't agree with this person politically, so whatever. I don't think Alan Richardson should really be in any big trouble or should be canceled for this. Like, he's driving his bike with his kids. This guy stands in front of him, makes him fall off his motorcycle because he steps out in the way. He tries to de-escalate the situation, fucking leave. The guy standing in front of him won't let him move. Shoves him off his fucking bike, and then he comes and he hits him a couple fucking times. I don't have any issue with what Alan Richardson did.
Yeah, I don't have any issue with this. I feel like it was justified. I didn't even know he pushed him off the bike that time. Like, he was trying to leave and he pushed him. So yeah, that one was justified right there. Absolutely justified. That dude did it to himself. Like, again, him stepping out in front of him like that was really stupid. Like I'm gonna play that shit back. That was really stupid. Like what he did there. Like he's trying to leave and then he pushed him.
So that's when the guy then actually shoves Alan Richardson.
Holy crap, dude!
That's what happened there.
Is what they've been playing. This is the video of what they've been playing. Like when this first came out, trying to like put Alan Richardson, in a bad light. But that body cam says it all, man. Thumbs up for Richardson for wearing the body cam. I had no idea he was wearing that. He was thumbs up for him, bro. But yeah, man, absolutely justified.
And we saw this.
Absolutely justified. Absolutely justified. He gave him that 1-2, told him to get the fuck out, and then he went back on the bike.
Fuck out of your goddamn mind. Stay down.
Yep, stay down. Stay down. Stay down, baby. Stay down, baby. And I agree with what you said. He could have killed this dude. Like, this dude's a big ass guy, bro. This was giant, bro. But yeah, man. That dude did it to himself, bro. He did that shit to himself.
Politically, so whatever. I'm on his bike with his kids.
And I don't give a shit. And again, the whole how he thinks politically, that bullshit, I don't give a fuck. At the end of the day, it's just a fucking altercation between two men. One of them trying to ride his bike with his kids, the other one being a fucking idiot getting in the way of that. So, hey, I have no issue with this. I feel like anyone trying to try to cancel him for this, you're a fucking idiot if you're trying to. Like, again, I don't see what the issue is here. This was completely justified, in my opinion. He didn't kill him. He didn't really I feel like he didn't really do anything crazy to the guy. He just pushed him to the ground, just punched him two. And plus, the guy got up. I saw the bruise on his head, but he's fine. So nothing too crazy, in my opinion. I don't think this should cost him any of his roles in Hollywood, especially with Reacher. So I don't see an issue with this. I think it was justified, in my opinion. It's like the guy literally jumped out in the road while he was driving the bike. This dude literally could have fucking did a fucking backflip and fucking bust his ass. Luckily, he was wearing padding and shit, and I think he was wearing a helmet. I'm not sure. I don't know if he took off his helmet while the altercation happened, but yeah, I don't have an issue with this.
This guy stands in front of him, makes him fall off his motorcycle because he steps out in the way. He tries to de-escalate the situation and fucking leave. The guy standing in front of him won't let him move. Shoves him off his fucking bike, and then he comes and he hits him a couple fucking times. I don't have any issue with what Alan Richardson did.
None. So. Hey, you put your kids in danger, at risk. What if that guy jumped in front, they freaked the kids out and they toppled over? You could have seriously, listen, and man, we got laws in Florida, man. If protesters or somebody's standing in front of you or blocking them, it's like you don't need to stop. Like if you feel like you're in danger or something like that. But it's like I agree with you.
Yeah, he could have like 25 in a neighborhood's too fast. I'm like, okay, whatever. It depends on the neighborhood. Depends what it is. I don't know. 25 miles an hour is not some deathly dangerous fucking shit. Okay, but if you think it is, guess what? If you think it's unsafe, the answer is not to stand in the way of the fucking motorcycle and cause an accident.
Exactly. Like I don't know why the fuck this dude did that. Like that was incredibly dumb. But yeah, I think I'll leave it there. I actually have a bunch of gamer videos that I want to look at. I kind of want to do the let's do the Crunchyroll stuff. Let's do the Crunchyroll thing next because this is actually some pretty major news.
Crunchyroll has been forced to respond to the data breach thanks to the breaking.
So, Crunchyroll was hacked like last week, I believe. Like 9 days ago. But the problem is they never revealed it to the public. They just kept it under the lid, trying to take care of it quietly. But because of the intent of the extent of the hack, they have to put out a public statement about it because it's actually pretty bad from the sounds of it. So, from what I heard, the hacker has gotten inside the Crunchyroll servers for about 24 hours. He's been able to get people's information in terms of passwords, emails, and credit card information, which is pretty serious. So I've been saying this before. Crunchyroll needs to fucking shut down already. They are the reason why a lot of people pirate anime because one, they fuck up translations, they censor shit. Like, this company is such dog shit, bro. Like, I don't know what happened to this company, man. Like, this company started to go downhill ever since they removed the comment section on their thing, and then they removed the free tier with ads last year. I believe they removed it last year or 2024. They removed it. So yeah, this company needs to shut down. This company is just such utter dog shit, bro. But yeah, let's take a watch of this.
News that came out late last night from International Cyber Digest. Now, my cybersecurity friend got in contact with this individual right here to confirm if this is a legitimate data breach or not, and they got back to me earlier this morning with a response and told me straight up that yes, from the evidence that has been provided, it is an actual data breach, and from a few things that I was told by my cybersecurity friend, apparently upon the information that was stolen, there was actually full credit card numbers stolen. Now, not all of them, apparently a lot of them are like the last 4 digits of like your credit card or debit card, but there is definitely some a part of this information that was stolen of 100 gigabytes of data.
100 gigabytes. I'm so happy I don't use Crunchyroll. I'm so happy I don't use this shit.
That had full credit card information on it, which is absolutely insane. And from what I was also told, all IP addresses, like a lot of the customers and everything, pretty much were stolen as well. So that's also another big detail. But let's get right into it. So Crunchyroll has officially responded, and as I've already just said, my cybersecurity friend has confirmed it legitimately did happen, but Crunchyroll being Crunchyroll, they responded with PR speak and tried to be as vague as possible about the entire situation and act like it kind of might have happened, might not have happened, trying to once again sweep this under the rug. And let's get right into that first off. So, International Cyber Digest, late last night when this was posted, if you scroll down here, he literally talks about how Crunchyroll was refusing to respond to the hacker for many, many days. 8 days at that. I'll read this again. The threat actor told us the breach happened on March 12th, 2026. Crunchyroll revoked their access after 24 hours. They also said Crunchyroll is ignoring all messages and still hasn't publicly disclosed the breach. So basically, after 8 days of this hacker trying to get in contact with Crunchyroll, either for ransom or whatever, Crunchyroll refused to respond. And so in their probably anger or frustration of Crunchyroll not willing to respond or even have a conversation with them, they now have apparently threatened Crunchyroll that they were going to start disclosing this information, and they contacted International Cyber here and basically started talking about what they were going to do to force Crunchyroll to actually respond, which in fact they finally did. So to put this in perspective, Crunchyroll, at least from what we see from the story, they have been trying to cover this up, sweep it under the rug for about 8 to 9 days now, acting like this did not happen whatsoever, trying to act like a breach never happened.
What I find absolutely hilarious about this whole situation is that just like a couple of days ago, Crunchyroll announced that they're raising the price of their subscriptions. Like, that's what I find so hilarious about the situation, man. Like, Crunchyroll truly is a joke of a company, man. I feel like somebody like an Elon needs to buy this company and just like absolutely rebrand this company, man. Like, someone needs to buy this and like hand it to people that actually care about otaku culture and just rebrand this shit, bro. Because this is absolutely insane, bro.
Hoping that it goes away, hoping that the alleged hacker doesn't do anything with this information, and just hopes that nobody talks about it. But thanks to how big this got in the last 24 hours, Crunchyroll can't really even ignore it. And my cybersecurity friend straight up told me the reason why Crunchyroll would even do this, or a company to begin with, would actually sweep this under the rug, is because it's bad PR. And to be fair, understandable. It is very bad PR, especially if you have a site or a company that's supposed to have a lot of private information on it, and if you have people's private information leaked or stolen, that's a pretty bad deal. That's not good at all. It looks really bad on you for, your public image, trust in your brand, and everything about that. And Crunchyroll's brand is already tarnished. I'll get into that in a second. But basically, this is common practice for a lot of companies to try to sweep it under the rug and act like it didn't happen. This isn't strictly a Crunchyroll problem. This just happens. But obviously, they got caught with their hand in the cookie jar. They got caught trying to sweep and hide this, and they can no longer hide it. And this PR, speech that they're doing here to Games Radar is more or less trying to say they have heard about the alleged data breach. They are investigating it with cybersecurity experts, and that's it. They didn't really give any more comments, which let's just read this article because it's very quick. So, recent allegations about Crunchyroll being hacked have done the rounds over the weekend. Crunchyroll has responded in the wake of allegations that over 100 gigabytes of data has been extracted from its ticketing system, including personal data and credit card information. Once again, it is confirmed. My cybersecurity friend has confirmed that is legitimate. In a statement to Games Radar Plus, a Crunchyroll spokesperson said, "We are aware of recent claims and are currently working closely with leading cybersecurity experts to investigate the matter." Cybersecurity newsletter International Cyber Digest reported on the development, which the hacker claimed took place on March 12th. And if you scroll down any more in the article, more or less, it's just rehashing what International Cyber, talked about. But also they just go into kind of Crunchyroll and kind of what they're doing in terms of their marketing and stuff, which is kind of weird, honestly. But let's get into the main topic here. So Crunchyroll has responded, which is crazy. I mean, I would like to point this out. Crunchyroll has refused to respond to pretty much everything over the years. They are a company that completely seals their lips, refuses to be transparent with anyone. They don't talk about anything. Like, let's look at what happened with ReZero's trailer. Obviously, it's apples and oranges, completely different topic, but they refuse to, even acknowledge issues or lack of marketing or subtitle problems or anything. They refuse to be transparent. So the fact that they responded so quickly after this news story broke showcases the dire circumstance of this, that this is legitimate. That the fact that they even acknowledge this proves alone, no shadow of a doubt, that this actually happened. Because Crunchyroll has never really tried to fully investigate anything if there was other alleged leaks or data breaches or anything. They never really even tried to respond. But the fact that they responded to this is evidence enough of potential damning evidence that they did try to sweep it, and now they're trying to cover their own ass by PR speak, saying that they're now aware of it and they're trying to investigate it.
I mean, they probably did try to sweep it because, again, you can't tell me that the guy been trying to reach out to you guys for a while now, and now you're trying to get on top of it. Of course these people knew about it.
When in fact, they were aware of it for a long time. They just refused to enact upon it and protect your actual data. Which, by the way, that gets into the next big topic of this story. So prior to this data breach happening, by the way, or actually around the exact same time, Crunchyroll got themselves into a class action lawsuit, as you can see right here. This happened back on March 9th.
I forgot about the lawsuit. Apparently they're selling users' information. Yeah, this is why I don't use Crunchyroll. They're selling users information. This is fucking hilarious, bro. This company truly is a joke.
19th of this month, like less than a week ago, and the reason why this class action lawsuit is against Crunchyroll is because Crunchyroll is accused of sharing user video viewing data without consent. So let me look at the timeline here. So on March 12th, a hacker gets in for 24 hours unabated, a complete access basically with the account they got into, to be able to steal people's data. Then, a week later, or not even a week later, you have Crunchyroll getting in a class action lawsuit for sharing users' data and selling their data, basically, without consent. So, there is two separate circumstances of Crunchyroll mishandling private information of their customers. Two separate circumstances in a week. That is actually insane. Like, I know Crunchyroll has a lot of money, and technically Sony does. They can definitely eat class action lawsuits probably like bubblegum. It doesn't matter. It's not like a big deal technically for a company that has billions of dollars or millions upon hundreds of millions of dollars. But the point still stands. That it's not a good look. It's not. Especially when they're not able to handle your data in two separate circumstances in less than a week this type of stuff happens. And so the fact that they're trying to sweep it under the rug, and then it makes sense why they're trying to sweep it under the rug. Because they're getting themselves into a class action law.
I truly believe that I don't think Sony Japan, like the Japanese people who own Sony, I really do believe they don't understand what exactly is going on with their properties in terms of Crunchyroll and in gaming. I feel like they really have no idea what's going on. I feel like they give their stuff to people that truly just don't know what the fuck they're doing. And we obviously see that with gaming. So I don't know, putting that headquarters in California, just gonna be honest, I feel like they should really rethink that decision now. I really think they should relocate and rehire / cut a lot of these individuals that work for these companies because it's not looking good for them, man. I feel like these people are just truly ruining their brand. And it's one of the main reasons why a lot of people are upset that Sony owns everything. It's because Sony, especially how Sony is now, these people, especially here in the West, they're ruining these properties. Like, it's like they truly think that they won't feel accomplished unless they destroy what fans love. That's literally how these people think. And it's absolutely crazy to me. Like, it's truly crazy. Like, we see it with localization.
Lawsuit for selling your data or giving your data over to third parties. Which, by the way, that gets into the other big elephants in the room, which is Crunchyroll just being an absolute dumpster fire for about 1.5 to 2 years, which I addressed in many different videos over the last few years, and I've outlined them very brief little clip notes here on what they have done. For instance, they have removed comments. They have stolen voice actor fan mail. I've done separate videos for this stuff, by the way. Doesn't uphold Right Stuff merch promises, which, by the way, when Right Stuff was consumed into the Crunchyroll, they basically promised that they were going to uphold all the backlog and back orders and stuff they had and allow you to get the stuff you ordered through Right Stuff. But obviously, many people were waiting for over a year plus, never received their stuff, and eventually Crunchyroll quietly canceled this and broke their promise. Then they shadow increased prices of merch. Then they have politics forced into English dubs, politics forced into subtitles, bad typesetting, site crap.
I'm going to play that video next about the politics in English dubs because, again, these localizers, they're trying to push this shit in a lot of niche series. And, again, because of how vast the internet is now, it's really hard to get away with that shit now because everyone is starting to peep game now. Everyone is starting to show this stuff.
crashes consistently, episodes released with no subtitles for hours, random episode delays with no transparency, refuse to market certain anime for being icky, aka like Mushoku Tensei. They've even done it somewhat to ReZero as well. They get an uncensored anime and then decide to delay the episodes to get the censored version, which, by the way, I covered this. It was Takamine-san. There was an uncensored release from Crunchyroll. They released the episodes uncensored, like episode 1 and I believe episode 2, and then right after that, they straight up only got the censored version. They delayed the episode release for people who couldn't watch an episode for a full week until the episode officially came on Crunchyroll's platform, and it was the censored version. So they got the...
Yeah, I remember that. Like, I don't even think they had the uncensored version on their platform anymore. They just released the continuing season, the rest of the season censored. And the only way you can finish the uncensored version is if you have to, like, pirate it.
Uncensored just to turn around and get the censored version. So that's crazy. Then they removed the free tier for watchers basically back in December of last year. They removed free tier watch with ads. Then right after that they increased the prices of their service. For instance, they raised it I think by 15 to 20% their prices entirely. After all this happened, by the way, less features on their platform. Then they got themselves into a class action lawsuit for selling your data, which I already covered. And then data breach happens, and then they try to sweep it under the rug. And then now they get caught and now forced to respond to it. So Crunchyroll is quite a shithole of a company. I'm just gonna say it. Like, they are a very bad company, and it's honestly out.
Yeah, they are. Like, again, they need to be shut down, bro. They have to get shut down at this point, man. Like, it's just like, it's really bad. Like, and I know the Japanese see this too. Like, they have to see how bad this company is, bro. Like, it's absolutely insane. Like, it is why I kept saying that I truly believe that the Japanese, they need to make their own streaming platform. Similar to how us here in the West, we make, we have Netflix, then we distribute it worldwide, even though the headquarters is here in the United States. I feel like the Japanese needs to do the same thing. They need to, but then again, when they try to distribute it worldwide, they have to make like a headquarters here, and it's basically going to be the same shit all over again. But then no, because Crunchyroll is based here, and if they do Crunchyroll, and if they make like their own anime streaming platform, they make like a headquarters here, and let's say if they're doing the same bullshit that they used to do when Crunchyroll was a thing, the headquarters in Japan could just fire them, just fire the staff, or tell them, hey, you need to stop doing this shit. So, I feel like the Japanese, they need to make their own streaming platform and then distribute it worldwide. I feel like that's what they need to do, because I'm tired. I think everyone is tired of just everyone's tired of fucking going to getting subscriptions to different streaming platforms just to watch certain series. I feel like if all of it is just on one platform, I feel like it would they make things a lot easier. And I feel like the only people who are capable of doing that is the Japanese. I feel like the Japanese need to do that. How they make the streaming platform? Well, now that's where things come into get a bit difficult, because I feel like if they do that, they'll probably make a platform based off the magazine. So obviously you got your Shueisha, so all the Shueisha anime will be on there. Kodansha, you got all the Kodansha anime will be on there. Bosatsu, Shogakukan, all the series will be on those streaming platforms. Or they could just all come together and just like have that one platform, and then when you're looking for a series, you can just look for the publisher. You look at either Shueisha, Kodansha, Shogakukan, Bosatsu, and then you go down the magazines. You want Shonen Jump, you want Shonen Jump, you want Young Jump, you want Jump Plus, Jump Squared, and then you go through the other ones, Weekly Magazine, Bosatsu, Shonen Sunday. I feel like they need to do that. That's just my personal opinion. Because I'm just tired of going through all of this shit, bro. I'm happy with High Dive. I saw it the other day that High Dive is releasing a series, and they're going to release an uncensored version. So it looks like High Dive is still doing, still respecting the fandoms and anime. even though they get pretty niche, small and niche series. I feel like the only high profile series they have is what Oshinoko, Made in Abyss, and Danmachi. I feel like those are the major series that they have on their platform. But honestly, I don't know, man. Honestly, I just feel like the Japanese should just make their own thing, man, and just shut down Crunchyroll.
Outrageous that they managed to get away with all this for so long. Like, look, I'm just gonna say it like it is. They wonder why people pirate. They wonder why people pirate anime and manga and stuff like that. When you have a company that has a monopoly on anime to such a large degree that can't even properly handle your personal information. Like, no joke, your private information is safer on a pirate site. That's insane.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I wouldn't go that far, but yeah, cause I don't know about that.
Actually insane. The fact that there is literally, you can have a conversation now about how a private or a pirate site is willing to handle your private information with more delicate care than Crunchyroll, a multi-billion-dollar, $1 million company, is ridiculous. Like, absolutely insane how much this company continues to get away with, and I really hope that they don't get away with this, because this is bad.
Yeah. It's going to be interesting to see where Crunchyroll is in the next couple of years, because, again, they're making a lot of stupid mistakes. I feel like Sony is the only reason why this company is still staying afloat, because Sony has a lot of money, but I just don't know how long it's going to last. Before I move on to the localization thing, I do want to move on to this Marvel Rivals thing. So
Rivals just
last week, on Friday, I believe. Was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. So Friday they released the next season. They released the new season for Marvel Rivals. They introduced White Fox, pretty new relevant character to Marvel. I'm not too familiar with the character. She's pretty new. I believe she came out like in the 2010s, so pretty recent character. And they revealed Black Cat, which is coming soon. They went good. They did a good job on Black Cat's design. They went with her classic look in the comics. Really cool design.
Released the season 7 trailer, including the new characters Black Cat and a White Fox coming to the game.
They did a good job on this, man. They did a good job on this.
And the Twitter police are offended that Black Cat is lore accurate to her comics. In other words, she's a well-endowed woman. Oh my gosh, how offensive, how problematic. We'll take a look at their complaints, of course, but this is also reminiscent.
Yeah, really good design here.
And two, the beginning of Rivals, when people on Twitter and Reddit, these modern audience types, were similarly complaining about the female character designs, and especially, you might recall, when Sue Storm was released as Invisible Woman and received the Malice skin, to which there was immense rage. Now, of course, it's well known in the Rivals community that the devs do seem to enjoy leaning into this, that being the well-endowed women that they have in the game, and lots of Rivals players are very well...
And there's nothing wrong with that, because it sells and it keeps players coming back. Again, it'll be we need to understand, when you see something that works, that makes money, and it keeps people coming back, you keep doing it. It's fucking business. Like, again, I'm really confused how people get upset by this shit. Like, it's fucking business, bro. You got to think with a business mindset. You got to look at what makes money. People like appealing characters. These characters are appealing. Of course, people are gonna come in, play your game, and spend money on cosmetics and costumes. It's that fucking simple.
Well aware of this, and they go on to meme about it. So there's a big difference. Let's establish this right now. There's, of course, a big difference between acknowledging that and memeing about it versus actually being genuinely offended and crying on twitter.com or Reddit. That takes us over to this tweet with almost 10,000 likes that goes on to read, "The way Marvel Rivals portrays its female characters will always keep me from wanting to actually play the game." Oh gosh, what are the devs going to do? That's horrible news for them.
It's just so insane to me. because mind you, like, females can look like this in real life. It's called going to the gym and taking care of your body. Like, again, these people act like these are like fictional proportions. Like, again, go on Instagram and look at these Instagram models or these females going through a fitness journey. Like, again, this is possible. Just go to the gym. And I'm telling you right now, it's majority females that are salty about this, because you'll never see any guy talking about this, and unless the guy is gay. That's the only way. But you'll never see a guy talking about this. These are just females who are just who are literally just feel some type of way. They're jealous and they're upset because, again, females only act like this when certain females look better than them.
Oh no. However, the OP is getting destroyed in the quote tweets and responses. For example, this one that goes on to reply to the OP with Evident.
And again, like, this is based off Black Cat's look in the comics. Like, this is literally how she looks like in the comics.
And saying, you cannot make that argument with a character who's always been depicted this way in the comics, LMAO. That takes us over to the subreddit Marvel Rivals Queens, where they are also complaining about this. But hold on a second, what exactly is the subreddit Marvel Rivals Queens anyways? Well, according to them, it is the OG Marvel Divas and Queens, a community for the queens, the he's, the she's, the theys, and everyone in between to enjoy and discuss Marvel Rivals. This is a safe space created for LGBTQ people, women, and anyone else who feels unwelcome in gaming spaces. Why do they have to make it so cringe sounding? Oh my gosh, it's so pretentious. But anyways, this post that we're returning to says, "Call me woke, but am I the only one insanely bothered by this shot alone?" So the shot comes from the trailer when she's balancing on that wire. And you know what? Sure, you could argue it looks a little bit awkward. And personally, I do like the white fox design more. I like the suit and everything. It's got a classy vibe going on. But again, these people just sound so obnoxious. And it actually gets even worse, because the whining in the replies is off the charts. This game has always had possible deniability. Okay, yeah, it's definitely the right terminology there. With quote-unquote comic accuracy. But this season is really pushing it and making the Gunner game allegations worse. How you...
Possible deniability? Isn't the saying... I forgot... It's not possible deniability. Isn't it the saying plausible deniability? Probably like a spell auto check, spell check shit or something.
Freaking escape the absolute troglodytes my post about this image brought out is beyond me. This is the single most misogynistic image I've seen in months, and me trying to talk about it.
This is definitely females, 100% females right here.
That some of these frickers on a mission to trash on me endlessly. When they said this would be the gayest season, and I saw this, then went, quote, "This is for straight men," unquote. So that person makes it sound like the they in that context is
definitely
the devs,
females. This
or
is
at the very
100%
least some sort of
females
NetEase
talking right
employee,
here.
right? But that's not the case at all. No one from NetEase said this would be the gayest season, because here's what actually happened. A Canadian gaming journalist named Miller Ross, who even writes for notorious activist outlet PC Gamer, had this clip of him posted that says Miller Ross has confirmed Season 7 will be the gayest season of Marvel Rivals so far, and a 7-second clip of Miller Ross saying this.
Why is 7 the gayest? We'll have to have that conversation after you know who's in it.
So that's literally it. The rest of the clip is just silence, but now you have Redditors and activist outlet The Gamer also running with this, saying stuff like, unless we're all getting queer baited, it sounds like Marvel Rivals is finally getting...
Again, like, journalists and people like this, like, it's just absolutely insane to me that these people are literally going out of their way just to hate on people enjoying something. Like, it's absolutely insane, man. Like, it's like they just don't want people to be happy. That's literally what it is. And it's a mental illness. I truly believe that this is a mental illness. The fact that you're saying that you find it wrong that this person is having fun playing a game, and you have to basically unleash your anger on people having fun, like, you are retarded. You are retarded. It's like every single game where where the majority of the community and the customers like the game, these journals have to like say why the game's bad. Like it's crazy to me. It's absolutely crazy. And literally, they come up with issues that are literally non-existent. Like literally Hail Mary issues that come out of that are literally just pop up out of nowhere.
Some more LGBTQ plus rep. Look at this. They go on to write, today we got our first look at White Fox and Black Cat in Rivals. White Fox doesn't have a confirmed sexuality, but in her previous appearances across different media, Black Cat, aka Felicia Hardy, is bisexual. Now,
no, she's not. So again, this is they're basing this off the fucking the Marvel Spider-Man 2 game. That's literally what they're basing this shit on. Black Cat was never bisexual. Like I think even the creator said that Black Cat is heterosexual. Like this is what I'm talking about, man.
That alone wouldn't be much, but this comes at the same time we were told that Season 7 would be the gayest season of Rivals yet. So fans have started to connect the dots, and many are getting their hopes up. Many are getting their hopes up. Yeah, okay.
What many? Like, what many are they talking about? What many?
Journalists. The only thing many are getting their hopes up for in the context of Season 7 is better game balancing. Let me also point out where this journalist says that Black Cat being bisexual alone wouldn't be much. There's already an issue in the LGBT community with bisexual hate from other LGBT people and like bisexual erasure. And that phrasing is really not helping this already prevalent issue. But I think what they're getting at is they're not going to be happy if Rivals adds characters that are canonically in Marvel Comics LGBT. They want to see like actual intimate sexual acts in game. And it's like, dude, this is a hero shooter. Come on.
And this is what I'm talking about. Like, they get upset when two straight people have intimate acts, but if it's like a gay character, they praise it. Like, again, mental fucking illness.
Same people that are going to get mad at Gooner skins being in game are going to demand that there's actual like on-screen gay sexual acts. It's like, dude, do they even hear themselves? Journalists like this and those Redditors we took a look at a moment ago are the exact sort of people dragging the LGBT community down. And this has all been a pretty good example of that. Ever since Rivals released, couch activists have been complaining. Look at this one. Can't get into Marvel Rivals with how sexualized the female characters are. I already know how the majority of you here will react, and I don't care. Oh, I'm just going to take time to tell you how much I don't care and make this whole post, but sure, bro. Before anyone harps comic accurate designs, there are responsibilities and choices creators and artists make when producing for society. Oh my gosh, I was just talking about how obnoxious these people sound, and that is actually one of the most obnoxious things I've read today. My gosh. Especially when we go back in time to adapt problematic representation that were okay back then. We already practice correcting racist or homophobic depictions, fixing the offensive and harmful caricatures that affected specific groups of people. We understand we interact together and how we influence each other, how art and entertainment adds and is affected by culture and politics. We understand how misrepresentation isolates those groups of people and influences/justifies their mistreatment. So instead of a fresh take or fixing the already problematic designs, Marvel reinforces them. You do understand that this game's made by NetEase, right? I swear these people don't even know.
And again, yeah, this is made by the Chinese. Yes, it's a American property, but the Chinese is doing it. And this is what I've been saying too. Like, the fact that the Chinese is doing justice better than the people who made the property is fucking sad. Absolutely sad, man. And this is why I'm happy that the East is doing this, because the East, one thing I respect of the East, especially the Chinese, they do not give a fuck about any of this weird shit. They don't. They don't get involved with any of this weird shit, bro.
Know what they're talking about most of the time. Well, let's finish. The female character designs are disappointing, especially Sue Storm's Malice skin. Oh, there we go. Talked about that earlier, actually in the intro, how these people would complain about that. A reach when she has other adaptable costumes. That doesn't make it a reach. What do you mean? It's pretty much just like her comic one is. There's some differences, obviously, but like her having other costumes to pick doesn't make the Malice skin a reach. That's not even how you use that terminology. Out of all the choices, I felt most comfortable with Squirrel Girl, who was still juiced up compared to her original design, like the other women. Gaming can be tiring for us because this is the norm. I just want to play as a super. The boys don't have to be sexualized to convince us to play, but it would be very nice if it's done to the gals. Huh. Somehow this is controversial to say, since everyone plays the game. Why is only one specific group sexualized and isolated, even when we know how marginalized the group already is? Edit. This is why I post here. Y'all make women feel like they have to go to girl gamers, LMAO. Nah, the culture here versus there is palpable. Yeah, for the record, there's a lot of men in Rivals that are also sexualized. And that's been becoming more and more the case as well. So to be fair, that post is a year old. It wasn't as much the case back then, but even back then they were. So for this person to dismiss all of that as if it's not happening when it was, is just a very clear bias, and it seems like they're just trying so hard to whine about something. You want to talk about reaching. This post is a reach. A reach for the sake of like whining about something on Reddit. It doesn't get much more low than that. Anyways, in closing, I will once again restate that I do actually prefer the White Fox design significantly more than the Black Cat design, but these people sounded so cringe. Oh gosh. Let me know what you guys think about the latest news here. Thank you for tuning in. Have a lovely day, and I'll see you next time.
Yeah, man, these these people, these people are incredibly stupid, man. Incredibly dumb, incredibly dense. Oh yeah, I want to play a little bit of this video right here.
Here we have
the localizer stuff. So I do want to skim through this video a bit. So I think it's up here.
Least a massive thorn in the side of very corrupt localizers. Now let's take a look at a few examples of recent Reddit tier.
Yeah, so this is recent stuff that localizers have been doing in these niche series. Like again, the Japanese do not talk like this. This is not terminology that's used in Japan. This is Western terminology.
Localization. As I mentioned, we got some recent examples of this. Here we go. Packer Girl had reported on this news saying, breaking, Crunchyroll localizers insert male fragility into anime English dubs this week. We can see the example on the bottom where the original subtitles had said, male pride is such a pain, and that got changed by the localizers to fragile masculinity, added again. And the other example where we can see the context had said, of course there are things a tough girl like you wouldn't understand, and the localizers changed that to, you are a tough girl and therefore too strong to fully understand male fragility. The irony of these people talking...
What the fuck?
about fragility as they shoehorn in their own rhetoric. Like, that's a self-report right there. It's crazy that we're in 2026 and you still see like Reddit tier cringe translations like this, or localizations, I should say. These people, man, they have no character development at all. It's just pathetic on their part. We have another example. Packer Girl also posted, breaking, Crunchyroll localizers insert chud into you and I are polar opposites anime English dub. Original context had said, it pains me, but I can't help overhearing. Localization version, and now I'm eavesdropping on them like a total chud. Another example. Original context had said, I'm just so, and then the localizer changes that to, I'm such a chud. So this one is really funny because it
it's just so confusing. Like, this is the original translation, but they literally go out of their way to do this, and it's just like, what is the purpose? Like, what's the point of you changing the entire translation? Like, again, this literally changes the entire meaning of what the character's trying to say and what the author's trying to portray. It's the same issue with what happened with Dragon Maid. Like, again, they do this purposely, and this is why I keep saying, like, I am full support of the Japanese using AI for their translations, because this is seriously going out of hand. This is really getting out of hand, and it's absolutely insane. Like, these are insane people. But I think I'm gonna end the stream there. Something I have to do. Nothing I have to do, but I'm just hungry. I haven't eaten anything yet. But yeah, I really appreciate you guys for joining the stream. There's a lot of other stuff I want to go through too. I'll probably stream this upcoming weekend. But yeah, I appreciate you guys for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, subscribe to the channel. Probably do some drawing later on tonight. But yeah, thank you guys for watching. This is The Way Blur, and I'm signing out.